Jesus. Oh, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Yes, Lord. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Almighty. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Jesus be praised. Jesus be praised. We acknowledge your presence here on earth. We say thank you. We say thank you. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, blessed be the name of our God. Yes. Blessed be the name of our God. Blessed, blessed, blessed be the name of our God. Oh, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. And we give you praise. We adore you. For there is none like unto thee, O God. There is none. There is none. There is none. Jesus, we worship you. Blessed be your name, O God. Blessed be your name, O God. Blessed. 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 We worship you. We worship you. We worship you. We say thank you. Oh, we say thank you. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Mahado veni fafinu. Akabani tento rozuvilita arrandekidi. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Oh, blessed Blessed be your name, O God. Blessed be your name, O God. Blessed be your name. Oh, blessed. Akitoi. Manta aradi barwazazebe. Matu oloti da randebra akruzubele. Shada baliantambela de brada brazuzube. Ikaparantem toveladua. Jesus is worthy to be praised. Oh, you are worthy. You are worthy to be praised. You are worthy to be praised. Oh, we worship you. Abba, Father, we worship you. Lord, we worship you. Mahato rehende efliti kabra. Merote eke baraza zaveletintintos katia. Skebeletem barateba arwazazi. Mesosi fafinunte. Azadebelebedum berrote. Jesus, we worship you. My God. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Akele to rohondo frazizi. Jeketi tika barante fra ekruzuzuvele. Father, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Ekele branda brazuzuvele tia. Orantem tos kabalatem brazuzuvele. Marate baruzi. Jesus be praised. Oh, Jesus be praised. Meko kai kambanda feleto razuzi. Elentintis kuba e kabrahando frezezi. O rahadiva velotunte mala barasezeli atua. Zeketiti kaparante per akruzu veletia. O rakeme menovelia tua zaziate. Skebento ekeletipa. Embrazo zafra atifra ando frazuz veleti. Incantora catebeletos kababa. Oh, Jesus. Lord, we worship you. Oh, we give you praise. We give you praise. Mahadi. Rekenun tu frazuz veleti. Askabam belento karate brazovre integrity. Skabam bele pepelete burundo brazaza. Lord, we bless you. Lord, we bless you. Lord, we bless you. Oh, we worship you. Matok telekre bezuzvele atwa. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Oh, we exalt your holy name. Oh, we exalt your holy name. We say thank you. We exalt your holy name and we say thank you. Oh, we exalt your holy name and we say thank you. Torah hazazel lebrende fretishkutu. Ika randa brazozovelati. Melika papa ramba beletuai. Mazoze rende vredoroka. Meko kikapai. Jesus. I korunde brazazavrand kledi. Skababalate brahanda brazozovrand kalia. Urababi babeleten telikabai. Rasuzi zavelenten dishkavil. Enkambarati rabababilam brazuzo. Antos kababalate. Mapapelepelomba arababi. Mebruzovre endevretus kudien goroate. Enkapapati tikitikulutu fre ende kruzozvele. Skababalatin tinto elaba. Membruzo rohagia babababe. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Oh, we say thank you. Oh, we say thank you. Thank you. Jesus, thank you for help. Thank you for strength. Thank you for transformation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for your promises concerning the nation. For your promises concerning the nation. For your promises. For your promises. Lord, we say thank you. Lord, we say thank you. Anatu rahade barozo velenti. Ikurwa gamba mbelatiaskove. Oh, for you are great and you are mighty. You are great and you are mighty. Mento ziza arande, mento sate likabarati varuzegede. Ekabalate branda brazoza vlenteli. Akorozoza alande mbrazuze. Usate teleba arambambeletu. Mate kebrento fra azuzvele. Maskaparababele. Azududuguduguduka barante. Eskababara imbarwaba. Ekabababarababababababa. Zute te elete velete dorwaba. Mekoro zozovrende kleti. Zaati ti kalanten dorukaba. Enkato ti fra zuzufrende. Askabarababele brandovra zoa. Orake bebe to orukandefre. Ika baba tu ati talitan tebarante. Oraga baba rababa. Rababa ikaba. Ezote elebrando zeti kalihanda brado. Egebetu kababa ikababa. Enkambambam broka belenten teveletu ziti. Esko on tofele teliada. Oh Jesus. Mesoke guarankam brentuzi. Alivevevetem velentuta rabababio kabrandabra. My God. Akur babazozante eskababalantam veletia. Urapabarantam vrezo randiva. Ezotiti mama manafeloto zati antun lentiki. Ikaba alabarwa babelozia. Jesus. Esokoto kai kababi kombembe kwai. Ikwa bambambakde elibranda fra atu ruzuzvele. Sati tete papa rapa. Ma papa rapa. Ekaparante mbroso sufrende. Zatete orome mrokofre. Ikabate tento rokabai. Mesoti elifa veloto zati like malika papa paranda brado brasus velete azate tiki bekukabai. Oh Jesus Almighty. Makai and to razuza branda kaledi skababalan tembelebu rababa. Embrogo brogo baba dibidibe ruaba bababe mambra kuruku frezizi. Jesus. Oh, we bless you. Our Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you for the light you have brought to the nation. For the light you brought into the nation. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you, Jesus. Hey, kaikaba. Mekoronde brazarande vre. Zantente elegiba ikababa imbambambam. Embrembembembro rosazile deva. En tanto rosazika. Ekababa rababa. Satele brandovra. En tutiga randevra ezuveleti. Zabalabiambambelo kofrazo. Blessed be the name of our Lord God. Blessed be the name of our God and Father. O kaparate brazo radi. Suteteteketi kapalate branzozo vrende. Arababa. Mapiakoi. Ke tutu rapapimbro. Regabepioto izate elite. Sute te menon to velete tu. Iko kapabara suzo frende kele. Rabbi. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Ayakuta alabrazi. Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you. Kai, kai, kai. Matutu urukaba. Ezetetiti baramba. Baba tentento rozozo veleti. Asatata hikaba. Jesus. My God. Oh, Jesus. Papa. Marokebe. Makati lebrando. Zatu di lebranda frado rokabe. Ekababala tente luaka branzuzevelete. Oh, Jesus. Mekukuru kababe ambembele tuai. Ezoto ti ilinkande fredoze zeti. Rebebelete. Rababa aba mbaramba arrogete. Ko mama malate veloto. Manatoro dovrazuvelete. Makia koko kofre enda brazuve. Satiti papa kai. Hey, Jesus. Oh, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Atititi kabarante. Malabar rababa. Oh, Jesus. Papa parasia. My God. Lento che le branzuzo frende brezuzo veleti. Scatito rokaba and toraziaze. Jesus will bless you. For the light. The Bible says, and the light shine upon darkness, and darkness could not comprehend it. The light shined upon darkness, and darkness could not comprehend it. The light. The light has been sent into this nation, and nothing. Father, we thank you. 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 Oh my God. Maruke enembabilu ezote lebrandu zazia. Kukakarukaba. Mesuzi ziviliti na anturuza haradia. Mekura kabika mbembele toskavi. Zeteteleba araba. Rebebeti dombra zozo vrende. Ekaba liatorozo. Sketetekelika babai. Arababiko mrambarozi iziti. Skututa akaba kabala tentorukaba. Ikatu toruzu zovrende kalidiskaba. Ibabalan tentoruzu zovrende galiti. Ishkai gomeankon kovekuvitikai. Alainu marwa babizu veletia ana farote. Jesus. Oh Almighty. Okay. My God. My God. My God. Makoko roko vrende krezizi. Iskanto radi barabi. Melebeto rozo vrandikai. Ekdeti kabai kambambo rose. And to ikaba. Ezet darababio. Marus is a grante. Akatu kabalantem duskaba. Oh Jesus. Ako memizu zuveleti kabarandebra. Zeto tivra aruzi za andekletia. Rababai. Oh Jesus. We give you praise, we say thank you. We give you praise and we say thank you. We give you praise and we say thank you. Oh Jesus. Mahandefezu. Ika aniano varratele ebabelo prososo frende credosa zeti. Mahatele kabarate. Zekabituta atila abro oroka frekeruzi zinta ila kaparanda. Sati di barababinonto villa. Meku babai. Makabarababai. Jesus, we praise you. Oh, we worship you. Yes, we worship you. We worship you and we praise you. We say thank you. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, we say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. Endoro zoru kande branda frazveleti. Ikabalate brando zazati kabai. Enka koru kovre krete cruz vrende kili. Iskababalate brambarobai. O memeno veve vitu tu vilitika tu kurugun tu veletia. Maiska barwa zazeletetia. Oh, we bless you, Jesus. And we bless you, Lord Jesus. 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 Oh, we bless you. We bless you. We bless you. We bless you, Almighty. Oh, Comamento razazi. Intento rondiga ekabalabre ezofrende miskato rakati iskabambeletuva. Oh, we worship you. We worship you. We worship you, Jesus. We worship you. Aleno fredo prosos frende kli. Eja aida rahanda brazuvelete. You are almighty. Yes, you are almighty. You are almighty. Oh, we worship you. We worship you, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus. Oh, we say thank you. We say thank you. We say thank you. For in Jesus' mighty name we've given thanks. I was in a couple of meetings for about previous weekend. Now, that was the last 2 weeks, which was July 10 through to July 11. I was in YMI, Minnesota, and then we laid a particular prayer. And guess what? That prayer was still a burden to me. The prayer keeps becoming a burden to me for this nation. And God was giving me some kind of instruction about Abraham, about Moses. Talking of these are people of the Old Testament, men of revelation, individuals who God gave insight. And then I stumbled into the books, and then God speaking with Abraham said, "Hey, you come out, look far as your eyes can see. I will give unto you. There's territories you don't just take, you don't take even physically in person. You take such territory in place of prayer." And I sat down to God, Lord, it is high time. There's some city that when the light really shine, when there's an evidence of the light, they might not really know where it started or how it started. That's because God has really ordained such a city for exploit. So we're going to be praying that prayer this morning, that the Lord God will open the eyes of Christians, the eyes of believers in such city city that just need a little rekindled. And see, there have been individuals who has received fire, who has engaged in it, but there is no way at which they are just they are just stuck to not being able to figure out what to do next. So it is time for God to visit such individuals, because such individuals will be the one to do the work. Our Holy Spirit, as far as we can see, states across the United States of America, let there be a rekindled eyes. Open their eyes of understanding. Men begin to see. Those whom you have called on that assignment, they begin to see. They see clearly. Clear vision. They see clearly. That which you, God, has ordained them to do. There is clarity. 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 Lack of clarity will make a man just stay stagnant because he or she doesn't know what step next to take. Jesus, amen. It is that time whereby their eyes are being opened to the reality of the gospel. Their eyes are being opened to the vision, to that which you are assigned and ordained them to do. Eyes are open. Clearer vision. Eyes are open. Clearer vision. My God. Eyes are open. Clearer vision. Eyes are open. Clearer vision, my God. Hakai Menonta arunkan cruzufrede. Sate de baraba binomba rukabai. Eto tahanten telikitibai. Erotovrazi. Eyes are open. Men begin to see clearly. Those visions, those assignments that the Lord God has stationed for individuals across the state of United States of America. Jesus, it is time. Disburse them. Hey, Kadia Ruta Brazos. Erofi Fanturu Kaba Zekateli Kabarante Brazo. Jesus Aikate Labaru Lepreso Rondo Fradus Kati Zababala Tembra Aruazazi Entelek Delebelu Kabarababi. Who Asate Telekebelu Kabarababi number Azufra and the Kritu Orokati. Oh Jesus. Masu Zulu Durundu Frande Creso Roti Kababianto. Let the light of God let it shine. The weight of God's glory, let it be evidence. Let men see the light. Let there be understanding. Alakoro Odofrazo, clearer vision. Clearer vision. Clearer vision. Clearer vision. Clearer vision. Jesus. Ayo my roses laato. My life is a living testimony. Been here for over how many years? And then when this vision comes in, it has been in existence for a longer time. But when the vision became clearer, was last year December, and for every time, every gathering, it becomes clearer the more. There are some visions that the Lord God Malati has given to certain individuals, states across the United States of America. It is a time for a recall and a reawakening, reopening of those chapters, those prophecies. Jesus. Now is the set time. Asho dele brazovre. Let it be known. Let it be known, Jesus. Meko kofre ekruzuzuvre endekili. Skababalati brazovre ekroto rangidi. Ikaka baroke babinuvre ezuzuvre endestatia. Zeke bebelete dele barua babelenten dovrazo. Ikoko runte brazazili. Jesus. Let it be known the reality of who you are. That truly it is the set time now. That truly it is the set time. That truly it is the set time. Allah to roka brandora hazuzu vrende. Asati tiba alambarwa bambele kufra. Rekoro zozi dili baranten doskati. Izababalati barababambelen boroba. Ay koko mamono faro zozo vrendekili. Zati ti brando bra azoro kanden keleti. Azati di bababalati balabadili kabambeleti. Mafia for kofi no faro tabarazezekedi. Oh Jesus. My God. Ooh. Jesus. Mighty name. We are still praying. We've prayed for seeing eyes. Now I'm going to pray for hearing ears. I'm going to pray for hearing ears. The Bible made us understand there were some certain individuals that could not really identify who Jesus was. When even it got to a time, Jesus was speaking. And there was some certain individual who could not identify if this was the voice of Jesus. Some certain time, the road will look smooth. But guess what? It might not be a way that Jesus intended, the way that God intended for you to pass through. Can we pray for hearing ears? Hearing ears. Hearing ears. Ears that does not just hear. They could hear the voices of God. It's going to take a while. But let me tell you something. With consistent practice, with consistent meditation, staying put in God's presence, you will surely get to that stage where you can identify which is the voice of God and which is not. Kalabarosa selente. Azabi lufe venon toragede. God's voice is mighty. Yes, His voice is mighty. His voice is mighty. Can we pray for hearing ears? Hearing ears. Ears that hears. Ears that hears. Ears that hears. Ears that hears what the Spirit of God is saying to the church. What the Spirit of God is saying to America. Ears that hears. Aya. Eleto. Andiba. Ragabinufra asufre and the kalati. Jesus. Yes, that yes. Yes, that yes. Ah, my God. Alombre asufre and the kalati parrazazility. In Him is yes, and in Him is amen. If you say unto one spirit, go, and unto another come. Have you hearkened unto the voice of God, saying and beckoning, come to me, saying and beckoning, this is the way to go. Have you? God is speaking. Are you listening? Can you pray for hearing ears? Hearing ears. Hearing ears. Hearing ears. Hearing ears. Ears that can identify the voice of God. Ears that can identify when God is speaking. Malate ba arwande faso. En kai ko homene ferosa zelita. Shebele brando frado rozo zogotoi. Meko randem vemveluzi zarati. Asatebele din turu kutufele. Ika pa araba binumbra azo. Jesus. Oh my God. Apapaparabai. Masosa etifra andas. Jesus. Oh my God. Eko raka barroza zaliante. Etelete belebedora zazi. Masaka baba bagadelika baramba paliato rapra anzovelete. Skapa balinten to rozofra andekeletis kaba. Ika abinu fa roses. Jesus will bless you. Jesus will bless you. Jesus will bless you. And we bless you. We bless you. We bless you. We bless you. Ako mate lepra zuzuvre. Shadade balade mbaramba biokoi. Mikoro divra zorundekele. Almighty. Ayano bra azuzuvre. Skadatai kababarate brahanzo. Oh Jesus. Eto talento frande frazizi. Igate deskababela. My God. Ebabarumbembele tu zivilita ikabalandes kaji. Jesus. Eko akeli kabarate. Meko freka zuzuveletes kababe. Shadadadadadada balade labambelade balua papabai. Orando vevinu varwazakianda kalikaba. Eskapabi koi kai ko roki franda. Almighty. Oh Jesus. Eko mama melefre azuvra ende. Shitadi nine minufalwata ekrende brazu. Oh, yeah, Almighty. Jesus. Yes, He's Almighty. Oh, He is the Almighty. Amoni fra sufra diskaba. Inta aludivra andobra azufra egedos. Makabara kebra azur hendevi. Oh, Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Oh, we worship you, Lord. We worship you, Lord. We worship you, Lord. Rute que veloz ofrende. Sada de bella de bellandem cruz ofrende. Jesus the Almighty. Yes, that's good. Yeah, per time. Yes, that's good. Yeah. Yes, that's good. Yeah. Yes, that's good. Yeah. Yes, that's good. Yeah, Jesus. Yes, that's good. Yeah. Natura handa brazuzevele. Go meme vivi kutoro ndovra hashati. Oh, we bless you, Jesus. Oh, we bless you. We say thank you, Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name, we're still praying. You know, there's something quite different when it comes to God communication with his own. When it comes to God communications with his own, there should be a time of solitude, a time to just wait all by yourself, a time to tarry, a time to inconvenience yourself just for something you want to get from God. You know, we have grown into the kind of relationship whereby we try finding comfort in God's presence. We are always wanting comfort, absolute satisfaction. Have there been a time whereby you just go before the Lord and you don't want to ask anything? You just want to be intentional to just give Him thanks. Over the past years, just giving thanks unintentionally, not asking for anything. I built this as something I do on my birthday, at least for the first interval of hours of prayers. All I just do is just thanksgiving. Because in the place of thanksgiving, God open your eyes to see more pending issues, more things to be intentional about. Yes. He opens your eyes to see more things to be intentional about. We're going to be rounding up tonight by God's grace this morning with thanksgiving. With thanksgiving. I just want us to be intentional in the place of giving thanks. Just be intentional for what He has done, for what He hasn't done, for what we still want Him to do. My pastor would always say, thanksgiving is an application for more. When you give God thanks in little things, He tends to realize that, you need more of whatsoever it is that He has done for you. So when you give God thanks, understand that the thanksgiving you are giving to Him now is opening doors for more reason just to keep appreciating God. So concerning the prayers we have prayed, we're just going to thank God for eyes that can see and for ears that can hear. We're going to thank God for eyes that can see and for ears that can hear. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you because you have opened our eyes to see. Thank you because you have opened our ears to hear. Thank you for the for the realization. We are able to realize this early enough. Thank you for eyes that can see. For individuals whose eyes has been opened to the reality of the gospel across the state. Across the state. Thank you. For eyes that has been opened. For eyes that has been opened. Sometimes when I go through the social media and I see some certain things, I just smile them out because God is preparing us. God is preparing the nation. God is truly preparing the nation. Father, for our eyes that can see, we thank you. For ears that has been activated, we thank you. Jesus. Activation of ears. Activation of eyes. Activation of spiritual ears. Activation of spiritual eyes. Activation of spiritual ears. Activation of spiritual eyes. Activation of spiritual ears. Activation of spiritual eyes. My God. Alego randabra zete elevino. Maliga bradoza zate. Jesus, for activating spiritual eyes. For activating spiritual ears. For activation. For activation of spiritual ears. For activation of spiritual eyes. Jesus, we thank you. 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 Jesus, we thank you for the activation of spiritual ears, for the activation of spiritual eyes. Eyes that can see far, ears that can hear what the Spirit is saying for time. Eyes that can see what the Spirit, ears that can see, ears that can hear what the Spirit is saying for time. A lot of people are being unlocked this hour. Jesus is unlocking dimensions. Dimensions. Allo de elebra azovre and the Kaliadai. Hey, this is one of the reality that we walk into. This is one of the reality we walk into. Because God is unlocking individuals' ears, unlocking individuals' eyes. People will begin to see. You will see prophecy come into manifestation. You have heard about it. You will see it. Oh, Jesus, Holy Spirit of God, the Almighty, and Zozi, Mountain Tofra Adosasiate. Oh, you are the Almighty, you are the sufficient God. You are the one who does as He pleases. You are Yahweh, you are Yeshua. You are the Almighty. You are all sufficient. El Shaddai, the Almighty. El Roy, the one who sees. The Old Testament calls you the multi-breasted one because you are the God who is possible to supply and to feed all without none getting hungry. Jesus, you are the God of all possibilities. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 4. With men it is impossible, with God it is possible. Father, we bless you. Thank you for the realm of glory, for the vision, for the understanding, for the insight, for the promises you have for this nation. For this is another time of fulfillment of such prophecy. This is that time of activation of such prophecy. This is that time where the prophecy begins to come into realization. Lord, we pray this month of July, as it is a Sabbath month, the month of perfection. Lord, we have about less than a couple of days left for this month. Jesus, we have less than a couple of weeks. Jesus, you will do that which you alone can do. That truly, ears will be popped open. Alaba arwatebo. Ears will be popped open. Akalebra azase elitaruandekleto. Jesus, I use the United States of America as a point of contact to nations across the world. To nations across the world. It is the season of prophecy realization that years of individuals, apapio, melocros of those individuals that has been given, that the prophecy has been spoken to. This is the time of actualization, that you will pop out their ears in the name of Jesus. Oh Lord, my God, my Father, Jesus, who speak for seeing eyes, grace to see, anointing to see. Are there been any form of cataract or whatsoever on any eyes, or be it veil or lenses that could not make individuals to see afar, that could not make individuals to see that God-given prophecy, and Lord God, that He has ahead for the nation represented across the world. Maleke vrendo rozoza ala de brandos kati and kora aikababio noro ozozi. Jesus, as I stand in God for United States of America, Jesus, over the nations around the world, over nations around the world, let the eyes of men be open. Every veil covering faces, every veil, every spiritual cataract, whatever it is, that is shutting men from seeing the glory ahead for each nation. My God, it is time that the eyes of men be put out to see in the name of Jesus. With men it is impossible. With God, nothing is impossible. The Lord of possibility will walk underneath your umbrella now and pray for vision alignment. Vision alignment. Vision alignment. Men begin to see far in actualization. Far in actualization. Far in actualization of prophecy. Far in actualization of prophecy concerning their nation, concerning themselves as an individual. Jesus will bless you. Thank you for you have done it. Thank you because you will do it. Thank you because yes, we hear. Eyes will see. Across all the 50 states and United States of America, there will be testimony. Across nations, across the world, there will be testimony. God will be seen. The devil will put to shame. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, blessed Redeemer, for in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. 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 Okay, good morning once again. Good morning. Thank you all so much for joining. By the way of announcement, our prayer continues again next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, 11:30 p.m. through to 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday. An hour in God's presence. God truly is here. And to every of our on-site online viewers who has been following us, or you're just joining, you're welcome. This is the Unique Intercessor. This is a praying platform. Yes, it's a praying platform. It's an intercessory prayer for United States of America and nations across the world. Nations across the world. Always, you can subscribe. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, on TikTok, whatever you're viewing for. And we would love to keep on seeing you every time we pray. Just an hour. We just declare, we pray, and God take absolute control. So I'm gonna see you again next Tuesday because grace if God's tarry. And there is something amazing coming up soon. Something amazing coming up soon. I don't know when yet, but God is set to do something with us very soon. We're gonna be reading a book, so it's gonna be like a 26 or 27 days book reading, just one chapters, and we're gonna talk about it, pray with it, and we fire on. Yes. That's gonna be a powerful section. Get fingers crossed. Once the Lord give us instruction on when to begin, and God's grace will begin immediately. We begin immediately, and I would love to have each and every one of us on board for those days. And I pray that the Lord God Himself would help us and take absolute control during, before, and even after the book reading and reviewing prayers in Jesus' name. Thank you so much. God bless you. My name remains Comfort Olamide. And this is the Unique Intercessor, the Flaming Intercessor, a prayer, and this is where prayer meets flame. God bless you.